get to the illness, we get to make sure that we are providing ourselves with the health and wellness inside of our mind, body, and soul really is what it comes down to. So we don't have to, ignore who we are and become very sick in order for us to pay attention to ourselves.
Welcome back to Vivienne's channel. I am grateful to have you stopping by to get inspired. If you're new here, maybe you'd like to subscribe to the channel so that you get notified for our future video. Today, I'm so grateful to announce episode number 45 of the 100 Successful Women, a Conversation to Inspire series. It's also milestone number 9 of the mission, and I would love to say thank you to each and every one of you who has been with me along this journey. Thanks a million to all of you. In today's episode, I would love to introduce another incredible woman, Avery Lane, who is an ascension mentor, a soul activator, and a globally recognized thought leader. Avery spent a few years in the fast-paced realm of emergency department as paramedic. Her practical wisdom and spiritual insight provided compassion care to countless individuals. This had led her to a deeper understanding of the human conditions and transformative potential of healing and support. I've learned so much from Avery, and one of them is her thorough explanation about 5D. She's now nestled in the vibrant energy of Scottsdale, Arizona. Her mission is to illuminate the path for individuals seeking to transcend limitation, heal past wounds, and experience profound spiritual growth. Without further ado, let's join Avery Lane on a journey that invites you to awaken to your highest potential, embrace self-discovery, and embark on a beautiful path towards empowerment and fulfillment.
Be careful with her. She has healed herself more times than you can ever even imagine. She wears her traumas like war paint, wiping her tears before they even have a chance to roll off of her cheeks. She's a healer, and she's one of the dangerous ones. She's got a big heart and a beautiful soul, and she loves fierce.
Hey, how are you, Avery?
Good. Thank you so much. How are you?
I am good. First of all, I would like to say a big thank you to you for willing to be part of this 100 Successful Women.
Yeah, such an exciting opportunity. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. So whereabout are you in the world?
So I am in Arizona in the United States.
Well, yep, all the way from the state. Thank you so much for tuning in. Is that late at where you are or still all right?
It's 4:30 p.m., so it's still within my working hours. Yeah.
Okay, that's still all right. Thank you so much. So I know that I did have a look at your website that's so beautifully done, and I know that you're doing a lot of great works as well. So one first question that I always ask the guests is that despite all the roles and different hats that you are wearing, so who is really Avery Lane at your core?
That's such a great question. Avery Lane at my core is just an adventurous spirit who loves to connect and heal and really work together with souls individually and as a group to lead to living a better lifestyle that's full of love and joy and better experiences.
Beautiful. I love that. And that I can totally, from your website, from having this conversation, I can feel your energy. You're such a bigger than life. That's, I would say, it's so good to connect with you.
Thank you. I try, we all have our days where it's not always 100%, but we get over those days and we re-radiate our true essence. So thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, and that's it. We are just trying to show up as much as we can. As long as we show up, I think there's a lot of possibilities in life.
That's a key.
Yeah, so I know that you are also you are the founder of few academy. One of them is Radiant Light Ascension Academy. Do you mind to share with us a little bit about your journey of become a spiritual coach or soul activator?
Yeah, absolutely. So my journey has been one of just an interesting adventure. Never thought I would end up here, but my soul absolutely knew where I needed to be and pulled me in that direction. All I had to do was say yes, lean into my soul nudges and accept my truth for what it is. So I started off my career in a very hands-on medical practice space. I've always been a healer, a caregiver, a helper, and I realized that wasn't the way I was supposed to serve and help humanity. I was supposed to do it in a more energetic and mindfulness coaching way. So before we get to the illness, we get to make sure that we are providing ourselves with the health and wellness inside of our mind, body, and soul. Really is what it comes down to. So we don't have to, you know, ignore who we are and become very sick in order for us to pay attention to ourselves. So that's kind of how my journey unfolded from there, and helping people just really accept, understand, and heal through their stories, their experiences that are leading them to who they want to be and how they want to choose to live their life and create their reality around them.
Mm, wow. So how long were you in the medical field before you become a spiritual healer?
Yeah, so I was in the medical field for 8 years, or sorry, 5 years, and then I've been in the healing field for 8 years. So, five really short, quick years to realize I did not need to burn myself out and wreck my body. I could heal and provide, healthy mindset, healthy healing abilities to people in a not so hands-on way that supports myself as well.
Wow, I literally have goosebumps listening to what you just said. I love the work that you are doing, such a wonderful work, because I believe that even though it's just short 5 years, you must have seen a lot of different things throughout that 5 years as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Lots of high stress, high trauma impact environments that, again, if you just took care of yourself, if you just, put that extra time into your love and your health and your wellness inside of your mental health and your emotional health, our physical body experiences are so different. They don't have to be filled with pain and suffering and trauma. They get to be that bliss, joy, and happiness and ease of life. If only we had the tools available to us.
Yeah, of course. That's so beautiful. We don't want people to be get into that stage where they only realize they need to search for a way. Mm.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you encounter, like you say, for those short 5 years, numerous traumatic situations. So at your time, as paramedic and as a nurse, so how have this experience particularly influenced your approach, in your healing and spiritual guidance?
Yeah, these are great questions. So, my approach comes from a well-rounded background where I really know how to hold people and lead people through their, traumatic situations, through their stories and experiences that have been less than, joyful, less than great experiences, and really showing people that there is a way to overcome these experiences and they're a part of us, right? They're never going to go away, but we get to choose how we want to react and respond to our experiences, whether they're going to continue keeping us victimized or whether we're going to create a different reality, a different outcome, and really take back our power. So, one of my biggest philosophies are empowering yourself to live the embodied path, which means you are the creator of your reality and you get to do everything through your own internal power. No more externally seeking validation, no more externally trying to align with a story that it no longer serves you. It was a part of your life for a reason, right? And now we take that reason and we create an empowered outcome from it.
Wow. So that's the backbone of your work and your teaching. So one thing that I'm curious as well, Avery, is that what is the pivotal moment for you to shift to what you're doing now?
For myself or for clients, a pivotal moment.
Yourself to do what you're
Mm.
doing now.
Yeah, it's just started one at a time, right? Knowing that I could help serve and heal people in a very different way, in a more energetic based way of being able to reprogram, rewire, and learn new ways to operate in life. The pivotal moments that come for me are just seeing that one person at a time. Each one's story is completely different, but we all have something that clicks inside of us that allows us to grab our and hold on to our own power and find that own inner validation, that own inner voice that we all have. It's just either suppressed or covered up with a bunch of stories and of unworthiness and not being validated to learning how to hear that voice of our own soul self and tune into our intuition versus living in that instinct survival mode for so long.
Mm-hmm. So that was the cases or the experience that you encounter, and you see real people experiencing that during your time at the medical field.
Yeah, in the medical field and the current in my current, line of work and passion, they're all this pivotal moments of
Mm.
just being able to see that they had it all along. It's just having them make that choice to take back their power and regain, their strength, their story, and their abilities to lead their life from a place of wellness.
That's so true. Love what you're doing. And yeah,
Yeah.
thank you so much for sharing that. And some of the things that is you're doing is like foundation work is very crucial for your coaching. So you did mention about empowerment. So what other method or practices that you currently employ to your clients so that they can heal what's inside them?
Yeah, absolutely. So, of course, empowerment is a foundational, something, a goal that we're trying to reach. But inside of my coaching and healing, I take a very holistic, soulful approach. First, getting you in tune with what does your soul sound like, right? This is our first step of really claiming our individuality, claiming our soul self, claiming, everything that we are and more. And we go into healing your stories. So this happens a lot through talk therapy, going into that childhood root. Where did you first experience this? And how is this experience from your childhood still playing out in your life today? The way that you're operating, the way that your mind is programmed to, hold you back in life or excel you forward. So a lot of talk therapy goes into it. And then I teach you how to start to energetically connect to your own self. So a lot of my teachings are they're not traditional, but they're very easy for each person to grasp that there is an energetic layer to this too of how we want to design our life and starting in our mental mind and our emotional body and our physical body and how all of these bodies are all energetically connected and entwined for us to really make an impact and direct ourselves, direct our lives. We're the director of our own movie, our own story, and we get to create it.
Well, that sounds a lot of work for that particular person, and you can encounter a lot of things for him or her. Well, so
Yeah, and it is a lot of work, but I do want to mention we come from a place of curiosity and
mm,
play and open-mindedness, right? Coming
mhm,
from that place of understanding versus the work and the pressure of having to get the answers and the stress and the painful memories and stories. It doesn't always have to be about suffering. We get to approach this from a very higher vibrational space where there is curiosity of why are you doing this? What if I did this? How would the outcome be, right? And playing with that energy really, really creates impact and change inside of our experience.
well, that sound like were a lot more easy for the clients as well, because sometimes it can get a lot more harder if because you mentioned about curiosity, which is I think it's the ability or the traits a lot of us forget about. Mm,
Yes. Mhm.
yeah, to have fun, and that's so important in the life of us, right?
Yes, life is taken too serious already. We need to start playing more and really enjoying being here in the present moment versus living in the past or living in the future.
Yeah, so true. So I'm just curious, Avery, are you someone who is like spiritual since you young, or how did you is there any things or inspired you to become a spiritual healer?
Yeah, what a great question. So I've always been very empathic and intuitive as I was younger, but I didn't quite know what that meant. I grew up in a very Catholic Christian household. So spirituality was very taboo. It was very, we don't talk about that. We don't believe in that, right? But my soul knew there was more. My little inner child knew there was more. And how can I feel these people's emotions? And why do I get these random ideas that aren't mine, but they're coming through, my channel? So it wasn't until around age 11 where I was actually introduced to different spiritual divination tools like angel cards and the pendulum and understanding what angels are. So that was my first kind of glimpse of, okay, maybe there is more out here. Maybe I'm not crazy. Maybe these little, empathic feelings, there's a reason behind them. And so at age 11 is when I kind of started accepting that there was more to life. I had, the sixth sense, the ability to feel other people and feel their emotions and very receive very clear messages through my channel about my situation, other people's situations, what's going on in the world. And of course, as we grow, we're trying to still figure out who we are. We want to fit in with the world around us. So we shut down our abilities until it's time for our soul to start putting in little nudges again and say, hey, remember this? Remember you used to be able to do this? And so it wasn't until about 2016, 2017, where I started opening up to the idea of having the sixth sense again, knowing that my empathic abilities were something to look further into, to be curious about, to open up to. And as soon as I allowed these soul nudges to lead me, as soon as I said yes to my soul was like, let's go. It was like one of those Peter Pan movies where Peter Pan had Wendy's hand and they just went and he's like, I had so much to show you, so much to explore. And that's kind of how that's kind of how my experience went as well. Is the minute I said yes to my soul, is the minute that my soul took me and said, I have so much to show you. I can't wait to play with you. So that was how it all went down.
Oh, I love that. This is like so I feel
Yeah.
the excitement in you because the moment you decided to just open up rather than suppress that and hiding it, and you see all this glory, it glow in you that's like you got this and people need you.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly.
Wow, that's amazing. So when you decided to start this journey, is there any challenges that you face and how did you overcome them?
Sure, of course. There's a ton of challenges that come up because we're both human and we're both, a soul. So we're having both a human experience and a spiritual experience. And it's how do I bring the two together? How do I be able to be human and not feel into everyone? And how do I be able to be spiritual and not feel crazy for, having these different ideas and different feelings come through me? So it takes a long time to recalibrate, even healing through stories of what I've been through, right? Some of my own traumatic situations and environments, some of my own relationships and experiences that I've been through. Healing's not linear and it's not a, end goal to healing. It's going to be a forever journey. We just have to figure out how are we going to navigate it and what tools are we going to put in our toolkit, right? Our self-development toolkit, our spiritual toolkit to help support us along in this journey that we go through. So it's not an easy one, being hypersensitive and hyper aware and having gifts. Everyone has soul gifts. It's just, do we choose to turn them on and use them for the better of humanity, or do we choose to keep them dormant? It's all a choice. But again, it's not an easy journey, but I wouldn't choose any other journey. It's full of beautiful enlightenment. It's looking at pain and suffering in a completely different way. It's having compassion around the experiences that we've been through. It's holding and really knowing what forgiveness looks like, even if we don't want to forgive,
Mm-mm.
and how this really adds to who we are and the experience that we're having in this lifetime.
Wow, such beautiful journey that you uncover along the way, right?
Yes, yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing. That's such beautiful sharing that you just shared there as well. So you did mention that you have that spiritual since young, and I had a look on your website. One of the topic that you normally or interested to talk about is 5D. So I'm always curious about 5D as well. Do you mind to share with us what is that really about?
Yeah, absolutely. So 5D is just a state of consciousness. It's just a different state of consciousness, how we look, perceive, and move through the world, right? So right now we all live in a very 3D world. I mean, we're just moving through life. We're kind of on autopilot. 90% of what we do every day is on autopilot, meaning we wake up and we brush our teeth and we don't even think about what we're doing because it's just what we do, right? So it's when we can disrupt that autopilot, programming inside of us and say, "Huh, I want to choose a different experience. I want to, maybe try this instead. I want to think more about why am I intentionally doing this?" We start shifting and becoming aware and accessing different states of our consciousness. Through this, we can access higher levels of consciousness. We can access, different realms and um, different types of spiritual worlds and realities, right? But to keep it really simple, to answer your question, when we access 5D, what that's coming from is a very full of love, full of life, full of compassion, full of bliss state of being, where, like I was talking about earlier, suffering and pain, they may exist, but we look at them in a completely different light. It's the way that you're perceiving the events and the worlds and the experiences that you have, not from a place of victimhood, but from a place of creator. And when we can bring in that compassion, that is everything, is having that full compassion for yourself, your experiences, other people, their evolutionary journey, and just the world around you. So I'll end on one more note with that. But the way I lead people into 5D is we start to heal through all of the things that have existed in our 3D reality from here up until this point. We start to bring in different ways and perspectives of how we want to look at life. We even bring in a lot of different practices, right, to disrupt those current programmings so we can program new ones that support us where we want to go. And when we cross that bridge into 5D, we're coming from a very heart-centered place, a place where we are operating in pure love, pure compassion, and understanding. So this is how we move into a 5D reality. A 5D lifestyle is from that love, compassion, and understanding for ourselves, our experiences, and the world around us.
Wow, that's amazing. It's like so bizarre all of a sudden when we talk about 5D and the voice was just cut off. And yeah,
Internets go crazy. Yeah.
yeah, I really love your explanation about 5D. Or correct me if I'm wrong. What my understanding is that from when you're talking about 5D, I imagining like me being flying out of my body and looking towards myself as not someone else. Is that like related to 5D?
Sure, sure. So you could be, your soul looking inwards, but what we really want to do is anchor that back into you, into the now, so that you can experience both and you don't have to disassociate or separate the experience of your 3D and 5D realities.
Wow, that's amazing, right? So many different things that probably we don't really understand, but it does exist. And thank you so much for your explanation there, Avery.
Yeah,
Wow.
absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah, so because this is a 100 Successful Women podcast, so I wanted to ask on behalf of other women as well. As a woman, sometimes moms, we often juggle between multiple roles and face with different pressure. So how can we find balance and self-empowerment despite all this responsibility and societal norms that we currently having?
Absolutely. So I'm going to stress first and foremost, making sure that you have your boundaries set up. If you are a mom or you're an entrepreneur, how much time are you taking for yourself and pouring into yourself so that you can give to others around you? How much time are you saying yes to others when you really mean no because you don't have the energy and you're just draining your cup, right? We can't pour from an empty cup.
Mm-hmm.
So, that said, I first would stress look at your boundaries. Are they supportive boundaries? Do you have no boundaries? And how can you begin to build healthy boundaries so you're fulfilling yourself and you're also fulfilling, your family and your business and everything else that you pour into on the daily?
Mm-hmm. Setting the healthy boundaries and look at whether you are on the serving for the empty cups or full cups. That's a great advice there. Yeah. So another thing is that you mentioned a lot about embracing our true self as well. I believe that you're helping your clients in doing that. So what are some of the techniques or some of the tools that you help these women or your clients in achieving that?
Yeah, absolutely. So through my mentorships and my soul flow coaching, we dive into who you are, what shadows are you still living in, right? So, shadows being what are you afraid to fully become and express and show the world of who you are? And how can we start healing through those shadows? And so, it takes a lot of, different work, CBT, which is cognitive behavioral therapies. It takes NLP, which is neuro linguistic programming. It takes, hypno healing. It also takes a lot of somatic practices and tuning into our bodies. So, through my techniques inside of my mentorships, I have 24 different modalities that I'm trained and certified in. And I just really customize it to that experience of that individual and how they can begin to take that tool, really learn it, and apply it to their own lives without needing, that external support. So, my end goal is not to have a lifetime client. My end goal is to give you the tools so that you can do it on your own because you are an amazing individual. You have everything inside of you. We just have to remember and reawaken to those gifts and that power inside of you.
Wow, that's amazing. I did see that you got different certification and you did say that you got around 20 plus tools that you are currently using. So how long does it take you to get that together?
How long did it take me to get certified? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Oh, I've been doing certifications for 12 years and I'm not going to stop. I love to learn. I'm like a sponge. I just want to absorb and soak up everything that I can learn and grow and expand my knowledge in so I can help serve and heal the community around me.
Wow, I love that you are learning and applying that. So what's your tips for like how what's your best tip for productivity? Obviously, learning take a lot of time as well, and then to apply them to your clients and working alongside with your clients, they take a lot of your time, a lot of energy. Do you have any productivity tips for us?
Yeah, absolutely. Make sure that you put balance in your calendar, right? You cannot be productive if you're feeling drained, if you're tired, if you're
Mm-hmm.
running on reserves, right? On the gas tank is empty. So, making sure that you have balance and how is your schedule supporting you, not draining you, not overworking you, and not underworking you, supporting you. Productivity all comes down to are you doing the task out of excitement, joy, and inspiration? Or are you doing the task because it has to be done and you feel drained and it's the last thing you're putting off? Another one is if you can afford it, if it fits in with your needs, where are you outsourcing? Because
Mm-hmm.
your expertise is in that specific particular area. All the rest of it, outsource it, hire a team, have people underneath you that are able to support you as well. If you're in that space where you can, you got to give up that control. I know as an entrepreneur, it's hard to give up the control, but when you can focus on what you're an expert in and the rest is handled, you're going to go so much further inside of your life, your passion, your business success, and even your family life and happiness.
Great tips there, and very important to remind women out there to find the where is the balance for you, even though it's not easy, but at least to really take some time to do some inventory, whether you outsource them, whether to delete them altogether. That's a lot of things that you can do.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, wonderful. Thank you so much for the tips there. Another thing is that because you has been so amazing in lots of things that you've been doing, and that you have been helping so many clients that you have been helping along the way. Is there a particular person that inspired you?
That inspired me.
Yeah.
No, I mean, and not to sound conceited or internal, but just myself, right? I'm my own biggest challenge and my own biggest, competition. I don't really believe in competition, because once we start looking from that place, we're looking from lack, what we don't have inside of us. So I keep saying, I've reached a level. I want to do more. I want to feel more. I want to reach more people. So I'm my own inspiration in the ways that I don't want to stop, because the only person that I can outbeat is myself. I have to come together with my community from a place of collaboration and, celebration for one another there, and not the compete, compare, and not saying inspire comes from that place, but I don't want to come from that place of lack of, I feel inspired by someone in the beginning, but then I see what they're doing and what I'm not doing, and then it starts, minimizing my own drive.
Well, I love that, to inspire, and the only person that we can compare is ourselves, and doing better than the last version of us.
Yep, that's really the only person in my eyes who I want to outshine is myself, and be better for myself, for my clients, for everyone.
That's so lovely, and that's such an important message. And hopefully people strive to be like you and inspired by our own self.
Yeah, or
Mm.
strive to be like themselves and the next best version of themselves.
So true. Thank you so much for that inspiration and reminder for everyone out there. Yeah. So another thing that probably I would like to know is that if you can give us some actionable steps on or insight that you can offer to women out there who are probably seeking empowerment, aspiration, and guidance, like for the unique path as a self-discovery and also spiritual ascension. What are some, if you can give us some practical steps like now that we can take and use?
Yeah, absolutely. So all of that wrapped into one, they all have their own categories, right? But I want you to start thinking and being aware of your soul nudges. What keeps nudging you? What keeps wanting to come through for you? What do you keep seeing all around, these synchronicities that are showing up for you to take action and for you to courageously step into? And I just want to inspire you to take that first step inside of that soul nudge, and then take the next one and the next one, and be really consistent and committed, right? So first is being really aware of what are these soul nudges. And second is, what do you want to begin to take that courageous action towards, allowing yourself to discover or experience? The ways we can do this is, writing down that list of what you envision your life to look right, like writing down and journaling, and really connecting to what you've been through and where you really want to go. This is going to bring you so much clarity on what the next step is, how you need to approach this, and what are your, actionable steps from there.
Wow, I love that. You just call out for many people as well to pay attention to your soul nudges, which people tend to maybe brush off. Yes, what the small sound in us, and then it bubble up, and then people just brush it off.
Yeah, until you can no longer ignore it, right? Because our soul is just going to nudge and nudge, and then something will be thrown in our way. And
Mm.
hopefully it's good, right? Not like a flat tire of, oh shoot, I should have done this and now I have a flat tire because I didn't listen. So soul and spirit will take the path of least resistance. It's just, are you opening to listening to that?
Yeah, I remember like when my husband is driving the car like low petrol and he just ignore it. He said he get a few kilometers at the end when the car is not moving, then he realized that he have to go to get the border and get the petrol from the train from the station instead. Mm,
Yeah, exactly. That's it, right? So we are our own car and that petrol's inside of us. So are we focusing on it? Are we paying attention or are we just letting it go? And then, next thing we know, it's we experience something we don't want to experience.
yes, that's so true. It's a call out. Thank you so much for that call out, Avery. That's so important. Mm, well, I love that. So what's next for Avery?
What's next for me? Right now we're just on a mission to continue to reach and expand our reach to individuals who are really ready to cross that bridge from their 3D reality into living and experiencing in that 5D version of them. So, something we just opened up to the public that we've been working on for the last year is our mentorship programs. We have two of them. We've always had soul flow coaching that's always open for anyone at any time, but we have two mentorships. So we have Becoming Soul, which is taking the first 2 months to start working through that stuff that we were just talking about in the very beginning. And then the last 3 months, so it's a 5-month program, we work through our energetics, how to really begin to connect to our soul, our intuition, our energetic selves, and start creating our life. And then I have another mentorship, which is called the Ascended Soul, where we take that energetic base and apply it even higher, where you can begin to learn how to provide energy healing and intuition training and learning how to read energy and read messages, opening up our channels. So, wherever you're at in the journey, we're here to support you, to hold space for you, and to really lead and guide you into living your best and highest design lifestyle through that soul led self.
Wow, that's such an amazing work that you're doing. And that's like, you probably, and thank you so much for bringing that work to the world. And then it helps people to feel a lot better in the world that's much needed now.
Yeah. Yes. It's exciting times, right? And there's always places for us to grow and to expand our knowing into. So I'm excited to really open up these two mentorships to the public that we've been working on with clients for the last year.
Mm.
And just let people in and receive because we don't believe in gatekeeping. We want everyone to know how to heal themselves and be empowered in their healing.
Wow, such wonderful work. So where can people find you online to find out more about you, to find out those programs that you just mentioned?
Absolutely. So you can go to our website at www.averylane.co. And then all of our social media handles are the same. So Facebook /averylane.co or Instagram /averylane.co and then TikTok as well. So you can find us anywhere underneath averylane.co. We would love to connect with you. Drop us an inbox message saying hi, that you listened to this amazing episode and either you're ready to get started or you just want to be in our circle. And we have so much free content, free training, and workshops for you to really just indulge in.
Wow. Yeah, I'll include the link in the description as well as in the video later. And another thing that I found out about Avery is that you are an Insight Timer as well. And I love that.
Yes, I have a lot of meditations on there. Again, they're all free. So take a listen, fall asleep to them, wake up to them. There's one for every occasion.
That's such a great work that you're doing. I love that. So thank you so much for your time with us, Avery. I have totally enjoyed the conversation with you. So before we wrap the conversation, one thing that I would like to ask is that, is there any one message for other women out there?
One message. I'll keep it short, but my message would be that no matter where you are in your life, you are receiving soul nudges, right? We're just going to stay on the theme of soul nudges. and just start allowing yourself, giving yourself the permission to follow one soul nudge at a time and see where your soul really wants you to discover, expand, and grow in. Our soul is always for us. It will never lead us down a stray path, a path that's not for our highest and best good. So if you're getting soul nudges, follow them one step at a time and see how amazing your world gets to become.
Love that. Soul nudges is the message that I got today, and then I would really pay attention to my own soul nudges as well. So thank you so much, Avery. So before I end the conversation today, is there anything that you would like me to ask that I haven't asked yet, Avery?
No, I love everything you asked. I'm sure this created a very clear message and picture for whoever's listening. They're going to receive exactly what they need from this.
Yeah, thank you so much, Avery. I'll definitely follow your journey. And yet I did subscribe to your Insight Timers, and I love that. That's such beautiful work that you're doing.
So exciting. Thank you so much for having me here. And I look forward to connecting to all of the beautiful souls who are listening and desire to connect soon.
Thank you, and see you next time, Avery. Bye for now.